Beau Pribula is committed to the Missouri Tigers. It was, I think I saw it first from Matt Zenitz of 24/7 Sports, but Pribula is off to the SEC. He will most likely be in a competition for the quarterback battle. He'll be in a quarterback battle for the Missouri Tigers there. So nothing new to Beau Pribula there, since he was in a quarterback battle originally with Drew Aller and then ultimately did not win. To kind of address anybody curious from the Missouri side that happens to stumble upon this, you are getting a player that is going to have top of the line work ethic. That I think with a combination of size, speed, athleticism, that work ethic that I've mentioned, and then just the it factor. I really do believe that Beau Pribula has the it factor to make him a competitive starting college football quarterback. I personally did not see him going to the SEC, but in the case of Will Levis, Tommy Stevens, it seems like Penn State's just a quarterback factory for the SEC, because oddly enough, this is now the third Penn State backup quarterback to go to the SEC conference after a Tommy Stevens could not take the quarterback job away from Trace McSorley. And then deja vu all over again, because then Will Levis could not do the same thing against Sean Clifford. And then deja vu all over again as Drew Aller, now presently the starter, and history repeats itself once again, where Beau Pribula is now headed off to the SEC because he could not take over and be the starting quarterback at Penn State. But he sat and developed and waited his time and bided his time. And ultimately, this is what had to happen. If Drew Aller goes off to the NFL for the 2025 draft, Beau Pribula stays. He was definitely content. And that's also something that I want to point out here, because Missouri fans should be honestly very excited to get Beau Pribula in the quarterback room. Interestingly enough, oddly enough, Matt Zollers, for anybody that remembers him, talking about recruiting on this channel over the summer, that was a key Penn State target in the class of 2025. They were never able to land his commitment. Missouri was definitely on top of recruiting and got ahead of Penn State, whether that was NIL, the message, everything else. They landed a commitment and kept it secure because Penn State would not go away. Penn State definitely kept pushing for Matt Zollers, Central Pennsylvania, Eastern Pennsylvania kid, but not too close to Philadelphia. But for Penn State, they missed on Matt Zollers, and now he's committed to Missouri. Beau Pribula, Central Pennsylvania, born and raised, commits to Penn State, and then enters the portal, transfers to Missouri. Now those two guys are going to be teammates. They were working out together. They were training together this past summer in 2024, and now they're going to be teammates at Missouri. Who knows if that played a factor in it at all, that Zollers was already committed and talked to Beau Pribula, and that there is an open quarterback job. It's going to be a battle. I would put my money on Beau Pribula. I think that he would win because he just needs an opportunity to succeed. But he was never going to beat Drew Aller for the starting job. So Missouri fans should absolutely be excited. For Penn State, the bright side of all of this, not losing, QB2, somebody who is capable of starting, somebody that certainly would have helped Penn State on this postseason run in 2024 going into 2025, because they're going to beat Boise State. I'm going to speak it into existence, but that's where my confidence level is. I think they beat Boise State. But Pribula, I am glad he's headed off to the SEC. I am glad that he did not commit to the likes of an Iowa, because it seemed like he took a visit to Iowa, he canceled a visit to Indiana. I did not want him to stay in the conference. And then more importantly, Penn State is playing Iowa next season in 2025. So the idea of Penn State having to go to Kinnick Stadium in mid-October, and then you have Beau Pribula, the former quarterback at Penn State who knows the ins and outs of the Andy Kotelnicki offense, now playing for the Iowa Hawkeyes, which certainly, even though Penn State has gotten the better of them recently, they are upset-minded every time. So the idea of Beau Pribula leading the Iowa Hawkeyes when Penn State has to go on the road for that game in mid-October, that had trap game written all over it for me. And I'm so glad that Penn State does not have to do that, because that obviously would not have been the best situation to walk into, especially after you play a tough game against Oregon. And then, I know it's a few games later, but Penn State can be a 2025 national title contender once again, but it's not as bad. And it would have been cool. It would have been cool, but no. For a Penn State, we're talking about wins and losses here for Penn State. I'm glad Beau Pribula took his talents to the SEC. So that's where he's headed. Missouri Tigers getting into a quarterback battle. So I can't guarantee that, he is going to be the starter. They recruited him to be the starter. But good for Beau. Good for Beau. I think he deserves this. There is not a single soul that is affiliated with Penn State, whether it's a teammate, whether it's a coach, whether it's a fan, just a spectator that, hey, I like Penn State. They're not my favorite team. But Beau Pribula has commanded the respect of everybody. He doesn't have a bad relationship. There is no bad blood anywhere else. Teammates were sad to see him go. And let me point out the fact that it was reported and then confirmed by James Franklin that he wanted to stay on the team, that he was going to stay on the team. But after some discussions, they said, it is best to go into the portal so that you can be a starter, go earn some more NIL money as QB1 somewhere else, wherever that is. It happens to be Missouri in the SEC, but do that because it's better for your future. You have 2 years of eligibility left. It is not worth missing out on an opportunity to go compete, to go be a starter, and go prove that you are a capable college quarterback at this level, at the Power 4 level. So I wish him nothing but the best. I know that he will do well one way or another. If it doesn't work out at Missouri, he can always enter in the transfer portal again. But I think this is a good setup. I think this is a good opportunity for him. Will Levis, obviously look at what he did at Kentucky. I don't think it exactly went the best for Tommy Stevens, and he dealt with some injuries at Mississippi State. Joe Moorhead went down there as a head coach, so that was kind of that natural transition. Quarterback follows the system that he's familiar with. So for Beau Pribula, he is going into a completely brand new environment, aside from the fact that he's familiar with Matt Zollers. So there is that connection there. I don't know how much a freshman quarterback is going to be able to help him, but he has a friend. He has a friend, right? But Beau Pribula only knows Central PA. Born and raised, Penn State fan, got to play at Penn State for the past 3 seasons through his redshirt sophomore campaign. This is all he knows. This is going to be uncharted waters for him. He's definitely up for the challenge. Definitely up for the challenge.